most people are wasting their 20s and they don't even realize it until it's too late. And when I think back, I used to be one of those people until I really decided to make a decision. And I think that one decision changed my entire life and the way I live currently. That 2 seconds. Why is he eating? First of all, me. It's 8 p.m. It's been a long, long day. Started work at 9 this morning. And I just turned off my main computer. Still so much more to do. So all I could think about right now is like, how can I go to sleep without doing this? And I'm like, it's so crazy just thinking about like when I was in grad school. If I had work to do, I would stay up till like 2 or 3 in the morning getting it done. And while I'm still that same type of person who wants to do that, my goals for running and lifting are so much higher than they ever were. And even when I played football, it's weird because I would still stay up till 3 a.m. studying and then go to practice and then go to work and then, go to classes. I don't know, there's something with my body and my mind just can't handle that strain anymore. It's to where like if I did do that, I would just be terrible at work all day, or the run would go crappy. Like it just wouldn't be able to do that. I just wouldn't be able to do that. And it's weird thinking about like how when you're younger you're able to do that stuff. And I'm only 25, but like it takes such a toll on me now. Yesterday I was texting my buddy, and I couldn't text, so I was like, let me send this voicemail. And then while I was saying the voicemail, I was stuttering all the time and I couldn't figure out like what I even wanted to say, awkward pauses. And as I've been navigating the corporate life and the corporate work style, it's just crazy because it's a different type of grind. It just is. Like you can be used to all the grinding in the world, from playing Division I sports and whatever, and being used to going to grad school classes at night, all this different stuff, and working during the day, and it's just different. Like it just wears you out differently. And I've been thinking about like how I'm ramping up mileage now running wise, and I finally got my mileage up this week. We're gonna do close to 30 miles, if not 30 miles this week. And I'm thinking about that, and I'm just like, no wonder I haven't been able to build up my mileage throughout the past 2 months, 3 months, because I've just been dying. And now that I'm building it up, I'm like, is this sustainable? Like, I don't know. Like, I just constantly have headaches and the back of my head hurts. It's a lot. It's a lot, man. I haven't been able to go to the gym for 2 days now. I run in the morning, so I did a 5 miler I did a 5 miler yesterday. That was at 6 in the morning. Start at 6 in the morning, and you get close to 7 in the morning. You got to start your day, and it's like, can I fit a lift in there? It's like you could, but not really. You got to start work at 9. Ideally, you want to get a little bit earlier, get things ready. Today, did a 6 mile run. I'm like, okay, I can do my lift in the evening. 6 mile run in the morning, about an hour, a little shy of an hour, easy run. And I'm like, all right, we'll do my lift in the afternoon. Takes one look at the schedule. Good luck getting that in. So get to the end of the day, I'm like, all right, we can still try to get it, and then it's just not gonna happen. So it's 8 p.m. What am I gonna go to the gym right now? What am I gonna get 1 hour of sleep because I've got to wake up and run tomorrow? And what we're doing right now is we're prioritizing running because I have a big goal of a marathon. So lifting comes second, but mentally I need lifting. Mentally I need lifting to be my best self. And so to go 2 days without it, one of my priorities first, it's work because that pays the bills. oh, well, above that, it's Jesus. So this morning when I first woke up, I praised Jesus and I read the Bible. And then I went on my run, right? So that's another priority. I got 3 things right there, all requiring lots of time. And the thing that's sad about it is like the Bible time was probably the shortest amount of time this morning. It was probably 15, 20 minutes of my day. And then it's work all day. And then I run for an hour and, that's like intentional suffering. It's not even like I love doing that. It's because I have an end goal and I want to get there. So I need to put in the work each morning. So we ran 6 miles, right? And like I said, work all day and then we're done with work. Can't hit the gym. Can I read tonight more of my Bible, or can I read like a book for myself? I do. Gotta go to sleep. But here's the thing. You can choose to look at your situation as messed up or blessed up. And it's like, I've got this whole future ahead of me. I know my plans that God has for me are great. And I know everything that happens through him is for good. So I know that this process is pruning me, shaping me, and refining me, putting me through the fire. Iron sharpens iron to get me to where I want to go. One day it will pass. This too shall pass. Building. Finally building miles again. Finally building.
I never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all around.
There are some really big things that are making people waste their 20s. I think for one, it's living for the weekend. I think there's too many people who graduate college at 21, 22, or they go to grad school like myself, graduate at 23, and you immediately just jump into the rat race. You got like your group of friends, your work colleagues, and everyone's in the office, and you're like, oh, it's Friday. Y'all want to go out? Y'all want to go out? Y'all want to go out? And then you're out until 2 in the morning. You do that every single weekend. You're not progressing in life. You just become stagnant. You become like everyone else. And you lose sight of the main vision in your life, or what it should be in your life. And I just think that's such a big thing holding us back as young adults and people in our 20s. Because guess what? That's one night gone out of your week. Say you do that Saturday, that's the second night out of your week. And then what are you going to do on Sunday? Netflix and chill all day, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have much time. One thing that I'm noticing in my job now, it's like I may spend like Monday through Thursday, if it's a bad week, working from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And, so it's like, what time do you have for yourself outside of the weekend? Like, you have to have that time for yourself on the weekend. So it's like, if you're working late hours and long hours during the week, then you live for the weekend, you're just like, you don't have any time to dedicate to your craft. You can't be successful living for the weekend. Another thing, this ties in that really well. You don't have a long-term vision. Without a long-term vision, you're just living. You're just living. Just think about that. You're just living. You're just here. What's your purpose? And if you're a Christian like myself, our purpose is in Jesus. It's in bringing other people to Christ. It's in spreading the gospel. It's in being the best person that we can be. It's in trying to be like Jesus every day. But in general, outside of that, you got to have a purpose in your life for yourself too. And so if you don't have that like North Star that's pushing you towards something, if you're not doing everything that you can to be your best self in life, then what are you? You know, you have to take control of your life at some point. And then third, I would say chasing validation instead of purpose. So social media, relationships, drugs, alcohol, you know, you're chasing a feeling. You're chasing that dopamine rush. And that dopamine rush, again, gets you nowhere. You feel like you're going somewhere, and then you actually wake up from it and you're like, I haven't gone anywhere, because you're living in a fantasy land that's not reality. Social media, it's killing people. You look at your screen time. What you're doing is you go on social media, you post something, and every minute you're checking, did I get a like? Did I get a like? Did I get a like? Who commented? Who commented this, that? And it's like, who's following me? And it just corrupts you so slowly. And you think it's innocent, but over time, it becomes what you look for in life. And we have to do a really good job of guarding our hearts and minds. People always seek others to teach them what they can teach themselves, or what they can learn themselves. If you look at my apartment, there are books upon books upon books upon books, and that's because I truly believe in investing in myself. And that's like the smallest thing that you can do too. And believing in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, you won't invest in yourself. These years in our 20s, they're not just years. I believe these are the foundation of everything. Every rep, every early morning, every sacrifice, every run. It's building the man or the woman that we're trying to become. The man of God he called me to be is who I'm building right now. And the same goes for you. But it takes putting in that effort. Your 20s are either you're making or they're going to be your breaking. Simple as that. So you really got to ask yourself, are you just existing, or are you putting in the work? Are you chasing distractions, or are you chasing discipline? Because one day you're going to wake up and the life you've built or the one you've wasted is going to be staring right back at you. So I'm currently lifting about 4 days per week right now. Nothing crazy, just making sure I'm hitting all of my major muscle groups and prioritizing some functional work as well, trying to maintain my core strength and build that up. I'm hitting chest about twice a week right now. One of my goals is just to hit 325 on bench and 335 on bench for the long haul. I'm up to doing 315 for 2 right now. I could probably push for 3. I've gotten pretty strong recently. And I'm really being consistent with legs. Leg training has been very important to me lately. Trying to set myself up for the best success possible for marathon prep in the fall. So I'm really trying to do this preventative work and stretch a lot more as well. That's going to be a priority going forward. And just like I said before, building up my core has been essential. But yeah, just doing what I need to do right now just to stay in shape and build my miles while also getting really strong. How do we fix being stuck in our 20s? I think number one, we have to create non-negotiables for ourselves. It's really important to have these things that we promise ourselves and live up to. There's something to be said about finding discomfort in everyday life. Some people do cold showers, some people wake up early, push the limits any way you can. And probably the most important one is auditing your circle. So if you have friends that are going to the club, they're partying, they're drinking, smoking, whatever, you're not supposed to be living that life with them and saying that because you're the Christian, you'll help bring them out. That's just not how it works. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. We have to put ourselves in positions and places around people who want to succeed just like we do. Denzel Washington says, "Don't confuse movement with progress." So it's Friday. I just finished work, and I am reading the Bible before I leave to go home. Decided to work with a friend out today, and I was just thinking, if we try to make meaning out of our own lives, we will fail eventually. If we try to make meaning out of our own accomplishments rather than in God, everything we pursue will eventually be meaningless. Just something to think about. A little quick fact. So I wrote just a vulnerable message that I posted on TikTok a couple days ago, and I thought it was worth saying again just because it's kind of like just where I am, and it's raw, real, and authentic. And it's just really about how lately I've just been really thinking about like myself, where I've been in the past, where I am now, and where I want to go. Been really trying to like plan that out in my head and be motivated to really make sure I'm taking the steps necessary to get to where I want to go, but also looking at my past to fuel that and to see where I've maybe making mistakes or where I've done things well, and that just to motivate me further. And it's just been something that's been really heavily on my mind, and I've been thinking about that gap, and I've been thinking about how I want to be a leader. I want to be a Christ follower, like a devoted Christ follower that brings others to Christ. And I want to be someone with like a major purpose, who goes boldly in that purpose, and who is an inspirer through that. And I know I've done some of those things already in my life, and I know I tick off some of those boxes. But if there was a spectrum that God has for us of like how far I am specifically on my walk to becoming the best man of God I can be, like if there's just like an end point of like he's reached his best potential, and I'm like, where am I on that spectrum? And looking at all the things that I'm doing currently, would God be happy? Would God look at me and be like, well done, faithful servant? Or would he be like, you have room for improvement and stuff? And obviously you're never going to be perfect, but it's just something that I've been thinking about because I am just always trying to be better. And I heard this on a podcast recently. You're either going to die falling into God or falling away from him. So what death do you really want to die? Because at the end of the day, it's either eternal life or eternal hell. And that's our choice. Especially for us in Gen Z, are we willing to have discipline now, to sacrifice now, and to live for something greater, a higher purpose? Or are we just going to say, who cares? And chase whatever feels good in the moment, satisfying the devil, going out late, smoking, drinking, getting drunk? Are we going to follow the world and ignore the truth? The one truth, because there is only one truth. Because at the end of the day, the reality is God's going to come back. And if we're not reading the Bible, the Word, studying the Word, if we're too caught up in our feelings to see the truth, we're not going to get in. And it's that serious. It's time. The time to choose isn't later, it's now. I think if you're wasting your 20s, you still have time to fix it. But I really think you have to start now. You can't put it off another year. You can't put it off a couple months. I truly believe it's what you do now that separates you. It's the same thing with like investing. The later you wait, the less return you get. And I think with us today and our society that we have today, we have all this knowledge. And analysis paralysis definitely plays into it, but we have the choice to make right now, especially when you watch videos like this, or you talk to some motivated friends, or you go to church and you hear the sermon. It's like we have everything at our disposal, and it's like we'd be foolish not to. So if you're hearing this and you're struggling, you got this. You got this.